Hi, I'm Dr. Carol Francis. This is the last class in managing relationships, but it's certainly not the last of the information you're going to want to process and accumulate. Because as you go through your recovery, go through all the different phases of whatever is the variation your paths take you in, you'll also notice that your relationships change as well. There'll be relationships that fall by the wayside. There'll also be relationships that you've actually pushed away and you probably shouldn't have. And we need to spend a moment to talk about those. There'll also be those relationships that will evolve with you. And there'll also be those relationships that will kind of change. And you'll go back and revisit them. And you'll say, thanks for kind of waiting for me. I appreciate it. And you will have had those conversations that I mentioned to you in class number 1. And you'll say, thanks for waiting. I think I'm ready. Where are you at? Because they change as well. And so that's another thing I want you to think about is everybody has needs. You have needs in relationships, others have needs in relationships. The primary formula for a healthy, happy relationship is to recognize this. Everybody enjoys being in a relationship with a person that they enjoy themselves in the presence of. So I'm going to really enjoy person number X if when I'm with them, I enjoy me. Now, yes, I enjoy them, but I enjoy them because I'm enjoying me. So that's kind of like the basic formula for relationships is that if I enjoy me, I'm going to enjoy this relationship if I enjoy me when I'm with you. That's kind of the key. So I can enjoy me in all sorts of different ways, and I can enjoy myself with all sorts of different people, let's say. And let's say I can help that other person enjoy themselves when they're with me. How they enjoy themselves when they're with me is as relevant because they have needs. How do I help them enjoy themselves when they're with me? And how do I enjoy myself when I'm with them is a very mutual exchange. And we've now talked about mutual exchange and disharmony and harmony. We've talked about having two-way conversations on all sorts of different levels. And we've talked about being able to function collaboratively on a team because that's what relationships are. They're a team. And how do you remember to be collaborative when probably a part of you doesn't even want to have to deal with that extra thing? But you have to realize other people have needs. And in that relationship, they're going to have needs from you. Now you have to recognize that there are times when you have the resource inside of you to be needed by an individual. Now notice that the word need and wanted, they're all gradations. I need to just hang out, or gee, I want to go do this together, or I just want to catch up with you, or I need to be part of your life and closer to you. I need to understand how I can be of assistance because I love you and I want to support you. I need to just have fun in the moment. Hey, I need a glass of milk. It's what needs, needs be big and really small. They can be quite manageable and really big. And sometimes you can actually address another person's need to enjoy themselves with you easily. So, for example, when someone comes over to visit your house, chances are they don't need you to have every single room spick and span. They may even be fine with an absolute mess. I don't know who they are, but more importantly, they may come to enjoy themselves with you. Not necessarily enjoy themselves with your perfectly manicured environment. So, same way, they may not need to enjoy themselves with you and you're all perfectly put together. They just may want to enjoy themselves with you in terms of where you're at. We don't know. But notice I'm saying they will enjoy themselves with you is the core of a healthy situation, a core of a healthy relationship. So that moves us into the particular need as we are recovering to share our story. And to share our story with people who are the right people in the right place in the right time that are going to be able to hear, listen, not judge, connect, absorb, emotionally be connected to us, take it in, and have other aspects of the relationship available. That's a pretty profound person, right? Well, that's why oftentimes we resort to the shamans in the community, to the priests in the community, to the pastors, to the counselors, the spiritual counselors, to the psychologists, to the medical doctors. We refer to people who kind of take on that role because they're equipped, or they have most of the time they're equipped, Most of the time they have the attitude of doing it. Most of the time they understand how to navigate what you're needing from them and still allow themselves to maybe to get their needs met elsewhere because they're fulfilling the need to be there for you in that moment. Maybe that's their role, that's their dharma, that's their purpose in life. And you're helping them fulfill their purpose in life by using them to share your story. And you might share your story in the context of a group that's set up for that, like the 12-step programs. So sharing your story can be very important. And we've talked about being able to share your story in a way that's healthy for you. In other words, that you don't necessarily have to go so deep that you're just living and being re-triggered, nor are you telling your story just to satisfy the curiosities of other people, unless that's important to you. Some people tell their stories in front of the media because people are curious and want to know. But it is very catharsis and feels very empowering for some individuals to share their story. But other individuals, it just feels almost like the media rape is going on because they don't want individuals to be curious. It just feels slimy and ugh. So you need to know what you're going to do to navigate the situation when you need to tell your story in order to expedite and experience healing and kindness and understanding and the reworking of your own narrative, which is part of the healing process, and being able to integrate it back into your life by sharing it with someone. I always remember the Who Tommy opera where the blind pinball player says, "See me, hear me, feel me." And I love that particular aria of that rock opera because it is so soul gripping and so authentically tuned into exactly what the angst is. See me, hear me, feel me, understand me, support me. And you want to make sure you're in the presence of someone who can really do that. And that's one of the needs you have in some relationships. But on the other hand, realize not all people want to know what you went through. Not all people are equipped to know what you went through. Not all people can hear what you want to say, and not all people can hold on to it in a way that leaves you connected. Not all relationships are set up for that kind of pressure or that kind of weight or darkness. And I talk about that in terms of the burnt toast in the videos already. So you're going to talk about what you need to talk about. You also are going to realize that they need something from you. Now, this is where you navigate that sense of, I may not be able to give them all that they need from me, but I can give them either facsimiles, similarities, a part of it, metaphors for it. Like, I can't give you my time, but I can give you this little gift. I can't give you my efforts to help you move your furniture, but maybe I can give you some money to hire someone to help you move your furniture. I mean, these are like approximations, and they're really kind of silly examples just to give you examples so that you can approximately meet what people need. But now you might be aware that in the most intimate of relationships, people have this kind of unknown contract where they say, I'm in this relationship with you and you're in this relationship with me because we have this contract. So for example, in a sexual relationship, a monogamous, committed relationship where there's a definition that no one's going to go outside the relationship for sexual pleasures, then that's a contract between those two people that somehow that other person's going to be part of the sexual pleasure component of the relationship. That's a contract. I wonder if you can't fulfill that side of the contract. Well, then that means you need to work with that other individual. What do we do here? This is important. This is your need. I want you to have your needs met. What do we do in this situation if I can or cannot meet that need? Other contracts are, I'm going to stay home with the kids and you're going to earn the money. So do you have the capacity to stay home with the kids or have you lost that? Do you have the capacity to earn the money or have you lost that? So if you can't keep the part of the contract that your relationship has been designed around, you want to stand back and respect that and work out solutions to what you can or cannot do. You want to define the needs of the relationship that have these kind of unspoken contracts. And other times, of course, at work. Does your boss need you to get this job done in order for the company to thrive? Yeah? Or is someone else making up for the time you can't work? Yeah? So you're in a sense not in your contract. You're not doing what you were hired to do. And you need to be proactive about letting them know because they need to get their stuff done that you were hired to do. And you may not be able to do it. And so your recovery, you will be able to do things in your future. but you may not be able to fulfill that now, and you want to tune in to, well, what's the needs of these relationships that I can't meet? And instead of trying when you can't, or instead of disappointing them and just avoiding them, it is to just come out and say, okay, this is the need you have with me, or this is the contract that you have with me. This is seriously part of what makes us connect. And I want to respect that in you. I want to be able to address that in you, but I also need to realize that maybe right now in my recovery, I simply can't. And maybe down the road you'll be able to predict when you can, but we don't know. I don't know your situation. So these exercises now are set up for you to be able to reflect. Well, what can I do when I understand other person's needs? What can I do of that, given my current resources? Is that going to change next week or next month or next year? And how does that need to be translated in this relationship so this other person can authentically be able to say, oh, I do have that need. I respect you're going through this horrible situation. I get it. I can be deprived for a period of time of you fulfilling that need, or, okay, yeah, you're right. I want this relationship, but I am going to need to address this. So these are complicated questions, and I want you to reflect on them in kind of this neutral space, not when you feel threatened or when you feel angry or when someone's angry with you because they have needs that aren't being met, but when you can be clear-headed about it. And that's what I'm hoping you can do during the reflection and the knowledge gain section of this particular class number 6. So that's going to end our time in talking about managing relationships, at least in terms of these 12 classes. But these 12 courses, but I will come back to this many times in my blog, on the Facebook Abuse and Trauma Recovery group, as well as I do discuss various aspects of this in the book, Positive Recovery After Abuse and Trauma. So this will be something ongoing. I also have interviews with wonderful individuals where we talk about aspects of this. So this is all an ongoing contemplation, and I wanted to give you these basic building blocks so that you can begin to navigate your way through the rubble of your own recovery and what that means in terms of the people that are in your life. All right.